So we're going to be looking at how to do invoicing from within Private Fund Manager, which is one of the inbuilt modules with standard PFM. As you can see, the third tab across the top is the invoicing module. So before we start invoicing, we need to ensure we have a shortcode for which our invoices will feed to. And so on here, as you can see, I'm setting up a lettings shortcode, just giving it a name, but making sure the tracking is set to by individual. This is going to be for me to record some invoices for lettings, pretty obviously. And as you can see, I've selected the shortcode lettings, and I've just typed in a description, on this occasion, hire of hall. On the right hand side, I'm just putting more details in about the hire of the hall. So the dates, what's included, kitchens, toilets and so on. And then the dates that the hire of the hall is for. So within the shortcode lettings, I've created a product for the hire of hall. So I'm putting in some description. Anything in the notes in the description will appear on the invoice itself. And now, as you can see, I'm entering a price. For now, I'm going to say there's just a single price for this hire, and that goes in the top box for rate A. Now I go into the area of who I'm going to invoice, and all the students are automatically on the system, but if it's not a student, I go to the tab called Other, and I simply type the name and address in of the person or people I'd like to raise an invoice for. This could of course be a company, a scout organisation, a badminton club, anything we like. So I've put in a name and an address and postcode, could put a telephone if I wanted. Having set up the product and now the people to receive the invoice, I simply put the two things together under Prepare Invoices. So on the left I click on Hire of Hall. In the middle section I choose Others and pick the person I'd like to raise an invoice for. And last of all I go to Create Invoice, which is where we physically generate the invoice in question. And I can look at that in the print invoice area. This just allows me to view it, has the name and address and invoice number and date at the top, the narrative I typed in and the price I typed in. That can be printed onto a template that we provide to you so you can make it look beautiful with your school logo, details, etc. If I wanted to, I had a different person hiring the hall on a different day, I simply use the same shortcode of lettings but a different product code. So I've put hire of hall and I've happened to put a different date on this occasion. Again though, I'm putting in any kind of notes I'd like to appear on the invoice itself, any detail that I'm interested in, and then I can put in a price, a different price to last time. I can create the same people to receive the invoice or just pop a new person in. So again, slightly different person this time, Miss Harrison. I'm putting in her name and address, postcode at the bottom, and just as before I go to Prepare Invoice to put the product with the customer, and then I can simply create the invoice and finally print it using the Print Invoice tab. And as you can see, Miss Harrison is here with a different amount for the invoice that we've generated for her. So very straightforward to create different invoice products for different people, be they in school or not in school. And I can look over on account maintenance. If they're not a pupil, this is where I look for how much each person owes. It comes up at the top under responsible person. I can use invoicing for anything really, but sometimes it's more useful when it's to do with students, because then it's automatic. I don't have to type any details in. So as you can see here, I've created a shortcode for damages. In the invoicing area, I choose the damages and I simply type in the detail of some damage that's been performed. So we've had some damage to the football nets. I'm going to put in some detail of when this happened, 12th January. Damages to football nets. by 4 students is what I'm putting on here during morning break, and it's an explanation that the damage is going to cost a certain amount of money and that we are going to split it equally between the 4 students involved. So it's just saying that the cost is £120, they're all expected to pay 30 each, and therefore the 30 is what I'm putting in the rate A, £30, as you can see. This time when I prepare my invoices, the students are all automatically there, so I pick the 4 students that are going to share my £30 each. And then I go over to create invoice, pick the damages code, click to create, say yes, and then as you can see when I look at print invoice, the 4 £30 are showing against the 4 different pupils, and of course it's their parents who the invoice will be attached to. So I click on the view, there's the one for Mr. and Mrs. Coombs for their daughter Sasha, and the details of the damage and the cost involved. So creating invoices for pupils, parents of pupils in school, is very, very quick and easy to do. So we've done one there for damages. How about if we're doing invoices for lots of children and potentially the invoices are repeated on a termly basis? So I'm doing one now for music lessons. So I've created a short code called music, make it an individual account. I go in, choose music and create a product. On this occasion let's just do violin. I could do another one for drums and piano and singing and anything else. But for now I'm doing some information on my violin lessons, 12 lessons with a particular teacher. And then I'm putting in the price of violin lessons. So it's 12 lessons at £8 a lesson. So down in the rates box I've got 96, but there is a facility to enter up to 5 different prices. So if children can do it for lower amounts, perhaps if they're on pupil premium or if they're siblings or doing GCSE music, they might have different rates. So I've picked violin lessons and I'm currently on rate A, which is the £96, and I'm picking the 2 children to pay that. Now I've changed it to rate B, which was the reduced rate, and I'm picking the 2 children to pay at that rate. And as usual, pick violin lessons, ask it to create the invoice, and there we have the 4 at the top, 2 of them on the full rate, 2 of them on the reduced rate. So you have an option of up to 5 price ranges for each product you create. If we want to do this invoice essentially again, but for the next term, so I'm going to do another set of invoices for the same children, but for the summer term, I could just type that. And it may be in the summer term the price has gone up, so I can simply overtype the notes to 9, overtype the rates. All the same children are associated or linked to the correct price bracket. So again, I simply create invoices and I now have 4 new invoices at the top. And this time it's got the appropriate figures in depending on which price bracket they were attached to. And this time when I look up the music account, as you can see, it shows the correct amount owing for each of the children based on the invoices that have been raised for them. So the amount owing is updated automatically by the invoices we generate. There is an option at the bottom here to look up all the different invoices, and so for example we can look up everything to do with music, and this shows all the different lessons, all the different rates, all the different pupils and their parents. Alternatively, we can look up an individual product. We can look up a date range at the top here, and in this case I'm just interested in violin rather than music as a whole, and that gives me a list of just the children doing violin lessons. So lots of flexibility for generating invoices, printing them in a way that looks exactly right for your school. For further details, please visit our website.